Tucker, you made some very interesting comments recently that has been going viral all over social media when you were specifically talking about UFOs, and you were specifically talking about something that is hard to kind of really understand here. I was wondering, what's your kind of take on all of this? Because I see this as a spiritual war. Do you see this as a spiritual war? What are your kind of core belief systems when it comes to addressing the larger evils of the system?
Well, as I so often do, I spoke incompletely. I didn't fully explain myself. In the clip that you're referring to, which like 8 people have sent me, in outrage, that I basically said there are things that I know that I won't say. One of the reasons that we've had all these disclosures and all these, 10 whistleblowers at this point, and it hasn't really become front page news. Part of it's suppression. Parts of the government don't want you to know about it, but part of it is the public can't deal with it. It's too far out. The implications are too profound. And I understand that, because I've heard things where I'm just like, oh man, I don't even really want to know that, honestly.
Deeply disturbing stuff. Forget like saucers and technology. It's deeply disturbing stuff that I haven't even told Natalie. Yep. I agree with you. It's so disturbing. Exactly. I can't even tell my kids. My kids ask me different stories about it, and I won't say it because it's so dark.
Which of course is not exactly right. I don't know. I can't prove it, and I really do try to say things that I really believe are true and are provably so. And so that's kind of my hesitance. If I had facts, I would say it's my personal belief based on a fair amount of evidence that they're not aliens. They've always been here.
Good evening, folks. Welcome to Alien Addict on a fine and Christmas Eve evening. Without further ado, the boys, Terrestrial, my lad. How you doing?
Pretty good.
Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas, man. I wish I had a little bit more caffeine, but I'm here.
Nick.
Merry Christmas.
Sexy man. How you doing? Merry Christmas, mate.
Oh, sexy man. Blimey, that's the first one from you, mate.
We've got a surprise Friday night from Dave. How you doing,
Merry
lad?
Christmas. Merry Christmas. I'm good.
Dave.
I'm here temporarily.
I know. You're doing your boys stuff.
We say it like that. It sounds bad.
It does sound bad, doesn't it? Yeah. Merry Christmas, boys. And Lee will be joining us at some point. His missus he was like, oh yeah, I'm free Friday. Let's do the Christmas show. And then his missus has surprised him with a surprise date night. So I don't know how that's going to work. You do the date night thing and go, right, that's great, love. I'm going on the show. So we'll see what happens there. But yeah, Lee said to me, you need to change the thumbnail from this to this. I said, well, that's fine, but I'm keeping Grush in there. Definitely keeping Grush in there, I spent a lot of time on that. Oh, by the way, people, if you want to get yourself some last minute Christmas presents,
it's a very cool shirt.
It's Dave Squatch, and it is there. That is Dave. We've decided that is Dave. Dave, you've got a shirt just like that as well. Actually,
yeah, I typically always wear Hawaiian shirts. Yeah, just not on camera.
It is in the description, people. Yeah, I mean that clip that Lee sent us that, and was it you, Dave? I can't remember. One of the two of you sent it.
Probably both of us. Yeah.
Yeah. And it's something that we've been saying for, I would say, quite some time now on Alien Addict, that we're not convinced that it's little green men from outer space. But then when you've got the big, like, the big boys saying it, you know, it seems to be like backing up the case, unless we were speaking out of his ass. I don't know. What do you think?
I think Tucker Carlson's been watching too much Ancient Aliens.
I love Tucker.
He's gone a bit woohoo, isn't he? I've noticed that all of a sudden since he's gone on Twitter.
Somebody like him must know shit, you know. When you meet the people he meets, speak to the people he speaks to. If there's anything to this subject with UFOs, he's going to make a complete fool out of himself if it's not nuts and bolts. When what he's implying is that it's something. Well, it may be still nuts and bolts, but he's implying that it's something that's been around for a very, very long time on this planet. And I've heard so many people saying that. That's something that we said for Dave. How long have we been saying that for now? It's gone for a week. It's got a limb off. It's gone for a week. We have been saying that for quite some time, that it's something else. You know, the whole alien thing might not actually be. Oh, he's back. Dave, how long have we been saying that for now?
I've always said that, and I think you've slowly changed your opinion to agree.
So you've wooed me.
That's all in the skill set. That's what they teach you.
It makes more sense, though. You know, especially like Nick, like when you've got your friend Graham Hancock and what he spoke about civilizations that just all of a sudden, you know, get wiped out. It makes more sense for whatever this is to be something that's been around for a very, very long time. Because NASA doesn't seem, unless NASA just totally lying to us. From what we've seen with NASA recently speaking about this, they seem to be completely clueless to what it is.
I think the wording is all the gear but no idea. That's described. That is NASA in a nutshell. Okay, so NASA's looking up into space. They're not looking in what we got here. You know, look at I keep saying the bloody word. Go Tepe. Yeah, that's it. That's a bit of a mouthful. There are so many sites like that still needs to be uncovered. Who knows what's buried underneath there? It's been there for millions of years. Who knows? I wouldn't be surprised if they did find something, especially on Antarctica. I've changed my opinions about Antarctica, not about the Nazi flying saucers that were invading Emerald Bird and all that, but I think there's something down there that is ancient technology. Bob Lazar talked about it, but you know, we'll put him to the sideline for the moment. But yeah, there's something buried, probably like a Stargate sort of thing. I've been looking into that theory. You know, that when you go into Iraq in like 2004, the army, I think it was the American army went in and started looting all the museums, looking for cylinders, which is quite interesting. And Jeremy sort of put from Alien Scientist put that comment on. So yeah, who knows, man? This technology, it's technology.
That was
aliens.
One of the things that was said. That was like one of the reasons why they wanted to have like positions in Iraq is because there's something there, something old there. I mean, I don't know how much I've heard the conspiracies when it comes to. I've even heard Nephilim giants being brought.
Yeah, I've heard that as well. That's got me clued in. That is.
But when you talk about what Tucker Carlson was saying, when you look at this, guys, do you see this as a spiritual thing or as technology, or is it technology being explained, or spirituality being explained with technology? That's my wonder at this point in time. Is when you look at I mentioned this a little bit before the show. I was listening to the end of the Bob Lazar and Joe Rogan interview the other night. I couldn't sleep, so I pulled it up. I figured I would just go to sleep with it on. Yeah, right. I'm going to listen, I guess. And at the end, Rogan talks about how all these other galaxies and civilizations that could be in the universe, like humanity, it's always just about progression. It's always about making the next new thing, the better. Bees don't keep trying to make the beehive better, but we keep trying to make a better phone. And you look at like all of this time that goes on and these civilizations move forward, the ones that do live, what would these things look like if they were 1 million, 2 million, 3 million years beyond us in technology? Well, they'd probably fly a little craft, right? They'd probably look a little different than us. They're intelligent beings, but we got to think about what would be the billions of years civilizations that were beyond. I feel like that's where the stuff begins to look as if it's spirituality. But if you were in those kind of civilizations, you wouldn't fly a craft anymore. You wouldn't rely on these needing fuel sources and material. You would look for a way to actually use the fabric of the universe. You would try to maybe like astral project yourself to where you wanted to go. And I'm starting to wonder, that made me think, astral projection, what's that all about? Spirituality, like moving your conscious through spirituality. And I think to myself, maybe that's wrong. Maybe it's moving our consciousness with technology. It just looks like spirituality magic to us because we just don't get it yet. That these things are billions of years old, and a flying angel in the sky or a demon-looking creature that's glowing and flowing, that's technology. That's not spirituality. They figured out how to use the universe, and that's just how it appears to us, and we can't describe it any other way. And so I'm starting to, that's where my head's going now, if that makes any sense to anybody.
Yeah, I think totally. It does.
Second, Dave.
Sorry, I didn't mean to. Yeah, so the headset lag, I apologize. I don't know if you guys are familiar with like Uri Geller and Ingo Swann and the Stanford Research Institute, and the test that the Department of Energy took place in along with the CIA in the 70s, 80s. And the fact is, all the results and testing, most of it's classified. They still don't talk about it. The thing is, they sunk real money, time, room filled with guys with Q clearances and crypto clearances to study what was going on. And they found it of such value. They continued it and then moved it off site. And it's something no one talks about. The UFO community totally ignores it. Like, there's so many mysteries that serious people take seriously that so many of us in this genre are just so easily willing to disregard. I always find that strange.
Uri Geller's the spoon bending guy.
Correct.
Yeah.
I used to love him as a kid. But like a lot of people think he is a complete coot, but like
the Atomic Energy Commission, the CIA, Department of Defense, various other organizations put a lot into him.
Yeah.
And they didn't think that. Makes you wonder.
It does make you wonder.
Yeah.
I like what you said about it being billions of years. And when it comes to technology, that would look like magic, because that's something Dave said for ages, like that it would only be described as magic. But have you ever thought, what if it is actual magic? I know it sounds crazy.
No, that's fine. It's fine.
But the whole idea of consciousness is quite magical, isn't it? It almost kind of sounds like science fiction. If you take a lot of mushrooms, believe it or not, it is like magic. It is something quite phenomenally different. Do you think this is why we're seeing all these balls of light for the past, God knows how many, over 100 years since we've been observing the sky? I mean, on public record anyway, these balls of light always keep on coming up, actually throughout hundreds of years, if you look through paintings and everything. Do you think that's like what you're describing, Terrestrial Materials, in terms of they're actually using their like consciousness to project themselves, and it turns out to be like in a big ball instead? And then this is what we're actually seeing. Instead of extraterrestrial craft, we're actually seeing these beings.
I mean, it could be, but who says consciousness isn't a technology? We just don't understand that yet. I don't know. Is consciousness Chat GPT 1 billion? And I don't know. It's the more and more that I look at AI and I look at how AI would progress if you had a civilization that was around for that long. dude, it would look like complete gods to us. If you took a 3D printer and took it back to the 1500s, they'd think you were gods. Come on. I mean, this is no amount of time. This is nowhere near that amount of time. But that's what I think that Tucker and them could find disturbing is it's not like it's a spiritual demonic thing, but if the government simply came out and said, look, there's these civilizations that have been around for billions of years that can project all over the place and do whatever they want. We have no way to protect you, man. Sorry. Bye. That's a problem, dude. How do you explain that? I mean, fuck religion at that point. Like, who even cares about your creation story, whether or not that's real? That's not going to freak you out as much as probably that would. It's very, very interesting to me.
How would you protect yourself from it? But at the same time,
You wouldn't.
Yeah, you can't.
You brought AI into that.
Yeah.
So have you asked yourself the question? Because I struggle with this bit, you know, when you hear Elon said it's quite possible that this could be a simulation. I struggle with that because I can feel myself move, you know. Why does certain things happen inside your body and it fails, and it just it's the perfect simulation, but it's just an odd. If it is a simulation, it's fucking odd.
I mean, cancer could be a bug. It's a glitch. I don't know. I don't know what that would look like in a simulation like this. You know, in our games nowadays, bugs and glitches are guys missing arms or the car sticking out of the road, you know. I mean, an advanced simulation that would require the power and the development that this place has become. I mean, every single system is so much more intricate than any video game ever created. Look around. The trees work with the air, work with the ground, work with the water. It's incredible how everything, our lungs breathe that. It's very, very intricate, man. And I could understand if it was a simulation, if there was a civilization that was able to live that long. Because you got to think about it. There's a lot of civilizations, you know, probably did get hit by asteroids and got wiped out. But what about the ones that didn't? What about the ones that were just able to get technology quick enough to get off of their planet and move on? Then they could just keep moving on. Who knows how far they could have went, where they're at. It's insane. Every time I look more into this topic, I feel like we are way past saucers and green men. It's got to be way more crazy than that. Have to be.
Definitely. Yeah, Thank you so much, Comp. DHP, the Hitman, claims to be here since 1946. Comp, I'm not sure who that is. Who's DHP, the Hitman?
Hatman.
Hatman. I'm dyslexic. There you go. I saw Hitman for some reason. The Hatman, are you talking about the he's talking about the actual myth, the Hatman, isn't he? The like shadow figure.
Yeah.
Since 1946. I thought this Hatman goes back a little bit longer than that. I could be wrong. We did a show with somebody that talked about Nephilim clowns, and he brought the Hatman into that. That was interesting.
Okay, cool.
But simulation theory, we always go back to that. And I don't know. I kind of think we're a bit more than that. But then I also think at the same time, isn't it a miracle that we are still here and we've got this far and we've not been hit by a massive rock like the dinosaurs did? You know, it's almost a little bit too perfect. Unless we are being protected.
It's too perfect. It makes.
Say that again, Dave.
Yeah,
Dave?
I was just saying, to speak to the simulation theory, I think about that a lot. I think it's a limited term, but it's the only one we have. Like, we see, like, typically when you see people report UFOs and whatnot, or lights in the sky, they're lights in the sky, paranormal activity, they're beams or lights or whatever. It makes you wonder that if the beings are consciousness, and worse, like, we're not a human body, right? Like, we have a body, we're in a body. You're in these two.
Dave, we are losing you, my friend. You sound.
We'll save it for another time. I got to jump anyway. But Merry Christmas, guys. I love the show. I love the topic.
Merry Christmas.
Guys have a wonderful evening and weekend and Christmas. Everyone watching. Merry Christmas.
You too, brother.
as soon as he says Merry Christmas, then it clears up.
See, he was getting to the real shit too. He was getting too close. They had to stop him.
This happened before. This happened before. You know, once me and Dave got into a pretty deep conversation. In fact, it was the very first time I ever spoke to him. I have a recording of it. I know Dave, it's not worth putting out, but literally we got into all sorts of stuff. And this is before I used to do live shows. I said, Dave, we're gonna have to do this all again, because every time you mentioned anything, it just didn't record. It just went all strange like that. Yeah. So back to what you were saying before, Nick, about Tucker. Do you think he's just like clutching at straws with all this?
Yeah, I mean, I've been bashed by a lot of people in ufology, you know, people that are quite high up in ufology. I mean, he's not a ufologist in any stretch of the imagination, you know, he's a news anchor, but his comments is quite intriguing, I have to admit. He sounds like he's heard something that the public is probably not aware of. Probably like a small few people would know about this thing he claims. You need to go in detail, man. I can't stand it with these news anchors. If they know what they're talking about, just fucking say it. You know, you want to get people's attention, say it. Come on, Roscoe.
Let's see the building. Show us the building that's covering up the UFO. Yeah,
that'd be great. That'd be great.
Exactly. Have you got the clip there? Have you got the just to refresh my memory?
The building clip.
No. Tucker Carlson, when he was mentioning.
I can bring the intro up again without playing the actual. Yeah, absolutely. Give me a second. Here we go. You buggered off for the intro. That's why.
Tucker, you made some very interesting comments recently that has been going viral all over social media when you were specifically talking about UFOs, and you were specifically talking about something that is hard to kind of really understand here. I was wondering, what's your kind of take on all of this? Because I see this as a spiritual war. Do you see this as a spiritual war? What are your kind of core belief systems when it comes to addressing the larger evils of the system?
Well, as I so often do, I spoke incompletely. I didn't fully explain myself. In the clip that you're referring to, which like 8 people have sent me, in outrage, that I basically said there are things that I know that I won't say. One of the reasons that we've had all these disclosures and all of these, 10 whistleblowers at this point, and it hasn't really become front page news. Part of it's suppression. You know, parts of the government don't want you to know about it, but part of it is the public can't deal with it. It's too far out. The implications are too profound. And so, and I understand that, because I've heard things where I'm just like, oh man, I don't even really want to know that, honestly.
Deeply disturbing stuff. You know, forget like saucers and technology. It's deeply disturbing stuff that I haven't even told Natalie. Yep. I agree with you. It's so disturbing. Exactly. I can't even tell my kids. My kids ask me different stories about it, and I won't say it because it's so dark.
Which of course is not exactly right. I don't know. I mean, I can't prove it, and I really do try to say things that I really believe are true and are provably so. And so that's kind of my hesitance. If I had facts, I would say it's my personal belief based on a fair amount of evidence that they're not aliens. They've always been here.
Right. First thing I got asked, Tucker, is where are you getting this information from? I think as a researcher, you need to see is where you're getting the information from, who you're getting the information from, and et cetera, et cetera. You know, he's not going into details. And again, it just frustrates the crap out of me. It really does. I want more.
It's not just him. You're seeing some of the people who he's been interviewed by having these same conversations, nodding and giving the nod like they know as well. So it's almost like you've got to be in that little club to know these rumors. Somebody has been doing the rounds and whispering in ears. What's interesting is I don't think he's just pulled some bullshit out just for a little bit of drama.
I don't think he has either.
I think somebody said something to all of those all those people that nod and kind of have an understanding, a little bit of it. I don't think they know, and they don't claim to know. Just like that, he refers back, and then I pulled the old interview into there just to show you a bit of the old interview that people are ranting about, saying, what does he mean by this? He's almost saying he doesn't know what he means by it, but what he's heard is concerning.
Yeah, he didn't jump off a building, though. Neither did the other guy.
No.
You know? I don't know. Concerning in what degree, you know what I mean?
There's one thing that when it comes to alien disclosure and the UFO alien disclosure, there's one thing that we've always kind of like said, that the government, and it's always been like the X-Files and this, that, and the other, is the public couldn't handle the truth.
Yeah, it always depends on what the truth is.
There's something to that.
Yeah, I would agree. Yeah, there probably is something to it. I mean, I'm always ready to be proven wrong, though. You know, my theory is it has at the end. If I had to put my finger on it, you know, put a bet on it, it's got to have something to do with our creation. Has to have something to do with free will, something like that. Something with our just nature of being, who's in control, who's not, what we can do, what we can't. Otherwise, I don't understand. Just knowing that there's other civilizations out there that can come fly by us, that's not making anyone freak out. You know, we have visitors. So what? People come to our house all the time. We don't know sometimes. You know, it's like, I don't think it's making anybody lose it.
I don't know, man. I think there's.
And what do you think, Ali? You think they can just come take us whenever they want? They're invisible. We can't see them. They're like Wi-Fi, kind of like essentially what Lou Elizondo was kind of hinting at for a long time. They're on like a different spectrum.
If we're talking about abduction, are you talking about abduction?
Well, I mean, I'm just talking about like the state of their being, and then giving the example of why the state of that being might be a problem. You know, just them being a system that we can't see. You know, them causing manipulation that we can't control. Does that make sense?
Well, that's why I used the little clip in that intro from from Childhood Ends. Have you know the book?
Yeah.
Where the actual aliens look like the devil. I don't think it matters what they look like. I think it matters what their intentions are. You know, whatever's being told is, I don't think it's good. You know, that's my take, and that's my take with this.
Do you think it has to do with the afterlife more?
It's Christmas.
I know. What about it doing? What about the truth having to do more with the afterlife? Maybe that's the more threatening thing. I mean, if we knew, I thought about this one time. You know, if I knew that when I died, it just went to black like it was before I was born, I don't think I'd really fear death really at all. That's fine. I'm okay with that. But I'm saying, like, our afterlife. What if they have?
You mean it went to black?
Like if you, like when we died, we had no feeling. We didn't remember anything. It was like the world was like when we weren't born. Yeah, it was that kind of understanding.
But it wouldn't be black. It wouldn't be anything.
Well, you know what I'm saying. You know what I'm saying. Yeah, sure. But just emptiness.
You imagine you die. I'm dead. I just see blackness.
You know what? It's an expression. Like everything goes black. You know, it's out. I don't think I'd be afraid of that at all. But I think, you know, it's what happens after. I mean, if there was a hell involved, that we knew no matter what we did, we were going to this horrible place like that. Yeah, that would be pretty excruciatingly, ridiculously crazy. But if there was a heaven and that's where we went and that was the guaranteed plan, I don't think anybody would care. So that's why I say there's people in this world, Ali, that don't ever get abducted if abductions are real, and they live to be 100 years. They don't have any interaction with any UFO or alien or whatever being you want to say. Not everybody does. So what is something that could interact with the most amount of people that would freak people out with this interaction? Could it be something with the afterlife? Just throwing it out there as a thought.
I think that's interesting how you just brought that in, because I was thinking that. I didn't want to say on an alien and UFO show. I didn't want to bring religion into this, because we've got so many atheists out there that, you know, I just don't want to put them off, you know.
Well, I mean, it's speculation. We're not saying that stuff's real. I mean, we can talk about it. You know?
I'm joking. I'm all about that. I'm actually all about that.
Yeah.
I think what you'll find that what we're speaking about with Dave then earlier. It's weird because I've come on a journey with this, and I found myself believing more in that side of it than the nuts and bolts alien side of it. But I'm not. I said I'm not changing the channel name. I'm not changing the logo. I believe that those things exist. I don't know what they are. That's the. Why is it not up on the banner? I'm useless at this.
Are you saying one day you're going to come out with a black robe and a white collar and you know?
I think
alien
they.
creature?
I think those things exist. I don't know what they're about. I'm not so sure. I don't think they drive little flying saucers. I think there is such thing as those things, the flying saucers, but I don't know what they are.
Yeah.
I think we've got it so wrong. I think ufology has got this whole subject completely wrong. Because I think if it was nuts and bolts craft, I think there would be more people figuring that out by now. If it's something that we can't physically see, and it's always been here, and we've had myths and legends, and people have been building like pyramids all over the world that never could be in communication with each other to actually understand design. And you're looking at the Nazca lines in Peru, and they are drawing giant things to talk to something in the sky that they believe is coming from the sky anyway. Whatever it is, it's dominated us. It literally has dominated us because it's been everywhere. It's planted its seed everywhere. I don't mean that it's slept with it as all. It's literally, there is imprints of this thing everywhere. Now, going back to the Nazca lines bit, that's where my confusion comes in, because I keep thinking God, a higher being of some sort that rules over this earth, or an ancient civilization. But then when you look at the Nazca lines, you've got a mountain that's completely cut off on the top. It looks like a runway. But then I think, if they're coming from space, why would they need a runway? Because if they can travel through space at an extremely fast speed, let's just say it is a fast speed, I'm sure they can land like, they'd have the technology to land like one of Elon's rockets rather than needing an actual runway. But if you look at the Nazca lines, that there's a mountain there that is completely cut off at the top. It looks just like something that you would land on or you would take off. Would you agree?
Yeah. No, it does.
Yeah.
And do you remember seeing the little bugs? Some of those are fake, by the way.
Yeah.
Some of those are real. Do you remember the whole episode on Ancient Aliens? It's actually one of my favorite. And thank you. Welcome to the show, Lee. You are a star and a old school addict. There you go, mate. Thank you very much for your unicorn love. Appreciate it. Yeah. Those, it looks like it was either to take off from or land on. I would say with it being a mountain and up high, why would you build a runway up high? Because if you were coming down to land and you missed, then you're going off it. Yeah.
Yeah, Ollie, let me bring this up.
Absolutely, Nick.
You guys can see that?
Yes. Do you know, I remember this. Somebody did a really interesting debunk on this, though. A friend of mine.
All
Let
right.
me
Go on
bring.
then.
Let me. So no, this is the first I've ever seen this because I'm with. I don't really. I don't know where I am with the debunk on that.
Look at that guy. That's me after like fucking 5 drinks, mate. That's how that's how I dance.
That can't be real. Is that real?
Yeah, it looks like it.
Yeah.
Imagine if they said Biden goes, this is the alien, and come on out, alien, and that thing walks out. What would you do?
This one's got
like,
a cock.
what the hell, man?
Look at
Or
that.
if like,
oh Lord,
it landed and like,
it's gonna have quite the porno career.
Huge ship landed and 1,000 Joe Bidens came out. I mean,
what if Joe Biden was the alien, dude?
It's another thing they kept on pulling out. I don't know if you guys seen this as well. So what you're describing,
cool.
Ollie, is that runway kind of backs up. I won't say backs up, but alludes to some sort of craft.
It's like Ollie. I see so many of these like figurines when you search this stuff and you see all these little sculptures and like your first reaction when you look at all of this is all bullshit, you know? But there's got to be, you always wonder, is there one or two things that are real, or maybe I just haven't heard of them? Because I always seem to get surprised what archaeologists are able to dig up. I remember that compass looking thing that from the Greeks. Remember when they got that where it looks like a navigational tool or something that looks like a computer kind of deal. It's really crazy and it's real. And I'm like, I didn't know about that for years. So I'm like, what is some of this is real? And I just don't know it. Maybe they dug it up. I don't know. It's interesting.
Bring that little the ship with the man inside it again, Nick, because I can't find the debunk, but I can explain what somebody said it was.
Which one was it? The first one?
Could you do you have the ability to save a picture, by the way?
Save a picture?
Mm-hmm.
Can you see that?
Oh, okay. So you see this thing? Can you save that picture? Can you say can you get that on its own? That little rock thing?
If you right click it and hit open image in new tab, you might be able to do that if you're using Chrome.
Okay.
If you right click it. Oh no, you're on Bing. Never mind. I just see you're on Bing.
Yeah, shit. Sorry.
You gotta get you on Chrome, man.
Anyway, just bring it, make it big. That's what she said.
I can't make it big, man.
Okay. Imagine
your point.
Turn that thing at a 90-degree angle up.
Yeah.
And
like a rocket.
Imagine the garden gnome. Look at it on the side.
God. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
I see his little feet right there.
Yeah.
Come on, you're the gardener, Nick. You didn't see the gnome laying down? We paid you to stand that gnome up. Come on, it's falling down.
When I saw that, it absolutely, I was like, oh no, it's the Rocket Man. No, it's the garden gnome.
That's pretty good.
Yeah, some of these like that's most probably fake, but yeah, actually looking at that. Oh, Ollie, god damn it!
Yeah, it's not mine. It's not mine. It's UFO proofs. He did that.
Good catch. Good catch.
And I looked at him. I'm like, you motherfucker, you've spoiled it. But I think he could have that one. I don't know because it looks like. But saying that, you look at it, it does look. It looks like the head is missing. And it looks like it does look like a spacesuit. You got the leg going around. So, because I argued with him and said that's a really good debunk that you've just done, but you can't prove that. And then he's like, "I just did." I'm like, "Well, I see what you're saying. You did a good job, but you kind of drew the eyes and made it look like that. But yeah, it did look a bit garden gnomey.
Sure.
That doesn't mean to say
Corbell. Jeremy Corbell kind of looks like a garden gnome. No offense.
God, it's Jeremy. That's what it is. It's Jeremy Corbell from the. He went back in time. Him and George Knapp. They finally did it, and they made him.
Did they get the 115 when they went back in time, or what?
That's how they did it, mate. That's how
God Almighty.
Oh dear. So we've got Danny Sheehan, that looks like a sheep. We've got Jerry Corbell, that looks like a garden gnome. I mean, who else we got? That's gonna look. Oh dear.
Do you think? Because so, I think we're looking at doing possibly a New Year's Eve show. We're just trying to work that out. I think it's going to happen. But what do you think we're gonna get in the new year? Do you think we're gonna get anything next year? Some people have been saying 2024 is like gonna be the hot year for this.
They said
hotter
that
than
every
this
year.
year. Hotter than this year, man. I don't know if it gets hotter. This was kind of like the year that Fortnite blew up, like for UFOs, for sure. This was big, man. You had the congressional hearings, you had Grush, you had the UAP amendment.
How are we going to get more hearings, though?
Supposedly one more, but they kind of stopped talking about that. So I don't know. I'm sure we will. I don't see why not. The Senate intelligence stuff, though, I don't know what's going to go on with that. The stuff that Bassett's talking about at the beginning of the year. Who knows?
Just excuse me 1 second, boys. Keep talking amongst yourselves. I just really got to do something.
No, what
it's literally like I'm trapped inside a camel's arsehole in this jumper.
I knew it would get him. You know, I thought about wearing a Santa hat for tomorrow, but I was like, dude, I got to find one that's comfortable. It's always hard to find a Santa hat. You know what I mean? That's not like rough on the inside and rips at your head. Oh God, I hate it.
It looked itchy, Ollie. It looked really
just warm.
Well, yeah, if you got your heat on, man. I keep it cold in my place, man. I got computers running and everything like that. They're going to provide me more than enough heat. I got to keep it cold. The wife gets pissed at me, though. She yells at me all the time. It's too cold. I'm like, oh, well, come in the computer room. It's plenty warm in here. So,
oh, yeah, you're not putting the heat on, love. No.
I keep it like 67 degrees Fahrenheit. That's Fahrenheit. You guys are probably Celsius, right? So,
yeah.
Fahrenheit, yeah.
When I went to the States, I was never cold. And like Dave said, it's pretty chilly for this time of year. And I'm like, I'm warm.
Yeah, I like to wear hoodies and like sweatpants and stuff, man. So I got to have it be a little bit colder. It's just the way that it is. But I mean, next year, Ollie, yeah, I don't know if it's going to heat up. Are they going to turn the thermostat up? Let's go ahead and segue this correctly here. Are they going to turn the thermostat up and have more? I don't know. It just depends. I mean, are they going to take another whack at legislation? I mean, we're probably going to get Elizondo's book. That's going to make news for probably everybody for 3 months at least. You can break down every chapter. That's an episode idea right there.
We could read it live.
You could.
I can't.
I can't. Fuck that.
I'm going to listen to it, man. I'm not going to read it. I'm going to, play a video game in the background and listen to it.
Is there going to be an audio version of it?
Yeah, I mean that was the original website leak was the audio version. So
yeah, it was. Who's doing the audio?
Oh, I don't know. I don't know.
Isn't it Lou that's doing
Is it Mr. Eon?
That would be great.
No, I don't know. I guess I don't know. It just depends. But yeah, the book it'll probably be interesting. But he's not going to tell us anything he hasn't already said, though, right? I mean, I haven't heard him going back to Dopser and getting anything else cleared. That's what Grush is saying now. So I guess maybe next year we hear more of the firsthand evidence that Grush has. I guess what he's saying.
I mean, I do think Grush is definitely. I've said this since forever. That he's heard some stuff, but I don't know what more he can say. I don't think he can say anything more than what we've already heard him say, unless somebody tells him something else to say. If that makes sense.
Yeah.
Because he's not going to get invited anywhere to say, "Look, come and look at this UFO now," is he?
No.
That's not going to happen. He's literally got everything he's possibly got, if that makes sense. The only thing he could do now is tell us who's told him and exactly what they've told him, which is never going to happen.
Because these news anchors don't get exactly, they always get like the Corbells, the half-baked ufologist, I'm just, it comes to of where they're getting information from would be some sort of backup. because I don't trust these. And I mean, Tucker Carlson, I mean, fair play for what he's done, you know, going on to Twitter and everything, but still is a news anchor, and I just can't trust him unless he can prove where he gets his
not a
information
news
from.
anchor anymore.
He kind of is, though. He still does his news
He's
stuff.
his own. He's just Tucker Carlson.
Still a news anchor, though.
Yeah, it's always been weird with him lately because ever since he came over to X, it's like, or Twitter, now he's starting to talk freely about UFOs and stuff like that. He must have been held back at Fox on a lot of that stuff. I mean, he mentioned things, but he's been going into like more depth than he ever has before that I've ever heard.
I mean, I get what you're saying, Nick. He's still got that news anchor style now, but now he's just his own presenter now.
Sure. For sure.
Talking about what he's passionate about, and every so often he'll drop some UFO bombshells in there. And recently they've been fired because they've got people talking. People like, what does he mean by this? You know, this is different. This is not exactly what people have been saying, and it kind of it almost implies, I'm going to say it, a religious aspect to it. It makes people think religion. Am I wrong there?
No, I agree with you. I agree with you 100%. Yeah.
It does, doesn't it?
Yeah. Yeah, it's interesting.
And the weird thing that is, you will probably see a lot of UFO channels won't touch it because they won't touch that aspect of it. They get scared by that because they don't want to talk about it on their channel because a lot of their audience don't want to hear it. I've seen my audience when we get talking about, you know, God, Jesus, whatever, they get scared. They're like, did he just say Jesus? I'm out of here, you know? Or did he mention the G word? I'm gone. You know, they get the heebie-jeebies. The heebie-jeebies. They do. I don't know why.
Yeah, I don't know.
Because you can't prove UFOs and you can't prove Jesus.
Right.
It's all faith. Everything. All of it's faith.
It's true.
Yeah.
You just got to think, where is your faith? Until
Corbell gives us the good video, then it's not faith anymore.
Oh my God, Corbell is Jesus.
No, I don't know.
No, he's a gnome. We've established that he's a garden gnome. He's not Jesus.
Well, go ahead, Nick. Go ahead.
I've got a very religious neighbor. She's a little old lady, and she keeps on telling me that I'm a sinner. And you know, she's gone from this 2012 sort of bullshit of the Armageddon's going to come, you know, the 7 horsemen and all that, and then all the people that put their faith in Jesus are all going to float up into heaven. The way she described it, I was like, you're kind of woohoo, love. Honestly, it just went right over my head. I thought, you are. So unfortunately, when someone brings up Jesus into ufology, I'm out. Bang. Sorry,
what is she's right?
She's
she could be right. I mean, all that stuff could be right.
Sorry. Well, let's just say this. You know, we're complaining about where are aliens. Okay, so where's the proof of Jesus? Okay, so where's the cave he rose from? Where's the cross he was pillared on? You know, where's Noah's Ark, for fuck's sake? About that big ship. There is absolutely fuck all evidence.
There's a good video.
Zero evidence.
A good video where Noah's Ark is.
I've seen that. Yeah.
It's just nonsense. Leave Jesus out of ufology. It is you can trace the story back of Jesus through thousands of years before Jesus. Sorry for going off on one.
No.
No, you're good.
You're good. Great. I love the debate about this.
Yeah.
I'm not a religious guy at all. Do I believe there's something 100%? Because this sounds weird, but I get certain. Are we going to? I don't know if it's signs or what, but something keeps telling me certain things. And it's not schizophrenic. I'm not schizophrenic. So that could be the devil. I don't know. But anyway.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
Exactly.
Hey, you said it, man.
Here's the thing. We look at history for proof of aliens. We do, don't we? We look back.
Yeah.
Would you say there is more proof when you look back at history of aliens, are more proof of a higher being, the G-man.
I mean, the pyramids are probably the heaviest, biggest proof that there was something else going on, man. In my opinion, I mean, the Bible's interesting, but it's written by people. You know, I understand the idea of it's through inspiration, through the Holy Spirit. I get all that, but at the end of the day, it's stories where anybody could have wrote that. We still don't even know how the hell they built the pyramids, man. I mean, it's. I think there's more proof that there's been some kind of interjection at this point. You know,
by aliens or magic.
I mean, if it's technology, I mean, magic is just the way. That's just how we describe it, man. You know, it's that's just the way that we view it. Is it's magic. I wonder if the pyramids and all of that is just kind of like them coming here and trying to interact with humanity at one point, and then realizing, you know, they didn't really do this very well. They didn't really work with us very well, and they kind of just went away. And they didn't expand on that area. It's kind of like you start a Minecraft server and you play for like 3 minutes, 4 minutes, build something and then leave it and go do something else, restart, you know? And if they were just looking at like toys left on the ground, unfinished business, because it's so random. It's randomly there. It doesn't make any sense how it was formed. We can't figure it out. We can't replicate it. There's things like that all over the planet. It's like they went to different spots of the planet and just like toyed with stuff and laughed. It's weird. There's no rhyme or reason to it.
Yeah, that's the thing. I'll never put anybody down for what they believe when it comes to this, because the truth of the matter is, I don't think any of us really know.
No, of course we don't.
No one knows.
Do you know what I mean?
No one knows.
It could be literally magic.
It could be.
That sounds like, that's right there. That's an unsubscribed word, you know, from this channel. What's he doing? What's he saying? But just hold your trigger finger for a second and check out the description. Buy a T-shirt, whatever. It could be literal magic. It generally could, because we don't have proof either way. When I say magic, yes, I'm talking about a God Almighty creator everything. Because I honestly don't know. And when I first started this channel, I was convinced I was that little dickhead that thought, I'm going to be the guy that's going to find the flying saucer, that's going to find the aliens, that's going to cure the world from disease, you know, either that or I'm going to end up on another planet, which is going to be great. And now it's just like, I have no idea. I literally I was so convinced when I started this channel that I was on a path to something that it wasn't just a gut feeling. It was like, I know they're there. I know they're lying to us about aliens. You know, the only thing that I was asking myself was, are they from Mars? Are they from our system, or are they from out there? You know, that's the only thing. Now, I have no idea.
That's because you want to know the truth, though, no matter what it is, Ali, and you're willing to continue to dig at that. Anyone who is willing to be open-minded to whatever this actually ends up being and is willing to do some digging and try to come up with their own hypothesis and then test those against other people's, what you learn, the more you learn is the less you know in this field. It's crazy. You know, I agree. 10 years ago, I would have told you, no, it's just these spaceships and the people that come here, and that's how deep as it goes, and that's it. You know, now you start thinking of astral projection things being technology, and you go, oh, that's Thor. Oh, that's Zeus. That's why they look like that. That's the reason for the Greek myths, because that's how they're explaining how that technology works. It blows your mind. But then you realize that that's just a hypothesis, right? That's just a guess. And you look at all these other religions, and there's nothing wrong with them, in my opinion. Have whatever religion you want, but then I can't go against them anymore. I can't sit around and say, well, your religion can't be right. The more I get into this, the more I realize, dude, anything's possible with it.
Absolutely, yeah.
Yeah, it is. Now, there's things that I'm not going to lean towards. There's definitely theories that I lean more towards, probably what's happening more than others. But I mean, gun to my head, can I say that you're wrong? That your neighbor Nick, that we're not going to all rise up out of our graves when we're dead and go up? Dude, I don't know. I don't have the answer, man. It seems silly in a lot of ways, but I don't know.
This goes back to the 2012 stuff. Could guys remember 2012, the end of the world and all that, and the lead up to that? I think that was the biggest flop for the conspiracy theories, because everyone's saying, oh, there's be a spiritual awakening, everybody will be heightened spiritually and all that sort of stuff. And you had the end of the world is coming, and it really made no sense. And all the predictions were wrong. Nothing happened. Absolutely, literally nothing happened. Possibly the Mandela effect. Something it's gone a bit odd with that.
Well, I have a theory on Mandela effect. That started when they turned CERN on. You know,
I heard about that. Yeah.
Right. CERN, was that 2016 that was turned on? Was it around the 2012 time? I can't remember.
The Hadron Collider, yeah?
Yeah, the Hadron Collider. Did you just say Hadron Collider?
How do you pronounce it?
Did they slam dildos together? Literally, is that what you did?
Oh my God, bro, you're killing me, dude. The Hadron Collider, brother.
Chat.
Holy. I've heard some things.
Chat will tell us. The chat. Come on, boys. Boys and girls.
Yeah, what was it? The Hadron Collider, or what was it?
When did CERN? Because I'll tell you, there's something really funny with this, because I looked this up and I did a show about it. And it was a jokey show, but it was also kind of like, it was a little bit of fact to it. So when they turned the Hadron Collider on, yeah.
I'm going to laugh every time.
I think that was Lee that gave me that.
I think it's the Hadron. I think it's the Hadron Collider. Yeah.
Hadron Collider, yeah. But when they turned that on, I
mean, you got to be turned on before you can slam hard-ons together, right?
Did they have like a mass ritual or something before they turned it on?
Probably.
Oh, they did the one with Sheba. Yeah, Sheba. That's normal. That's what you do when you're a scientist. You worship the god of Sheba, and then you go do your shit.
You got to have some kind of backup plan, right? Man.
It's absolutely normal, that, Nick. Yeah, they did. They did some sort of some rituals at CERN. They've been doing that for a while. They still do them. But when they turned that thing on,
continuing?
It was shortly after when Mandela effect became a thing. I shit you not. And don't you two tell me that there's no Mandela effects that you go.
Oh, there's weird ones, yeah.
Oh,
yeah, for sure.
There's a lot of them that just don't make sense. And everybody put and you hear it on, the conspiracy channels, our friends and all that saying, it's just memory. It's just memory. It's just memory. I'm sorry, it's not just fucking memory. It's not. They fucked about with shit.
They could have, yeah.
Accept it.
Yeah. Look, they don't know what they're doing over there. They don't know how that's going to work out. They have theories. They know how they hope it works out.
They fucked about with shit, and the people with real souls realize it. There you go. I've said it.
Yeah, the people that you cut open and dust comes out, they don't think there's a Mandela effect, right? Nick, you're full of dust.
Yeah.
No, I think you like the Mandela effect, no?
I don't understand with the Mandela effect. It always seems to affect advertisings and logos and nothing else.
I find that a bit odd. Okay. Did Chewbacca, right, get a medal?
Oh God, okay.
Did he get a medal?
No, he didn't.
He fucking did.
No, he didn't. No, Ollie, I am a fucking huge Star Wars fan. Don't start
what is that one? What is this one?
Right. I can remember watching it when I was a kid, yeah. And Chewbacca nearly headbutted Princess Leia.
Yeah, she puts the medal on him, right?
No, he doesn't get it. No. Oh, there you go. I screamed.
No, I'm serious. No,
he never got a medal.
The head down, right?
No,
he didn't.
Yeah, I remember it like that.
Because the Rise of Skywalker, the Rise of Skywalker, he gets his medal.
Nick,
in episode 9.
So it's not your fault, mate. Somebody's been fucking with us. I don't know what it is. He remembers it the same way as I do.
Yeah, I do
too. Chewbacca went like that, and he nearly headbutted it. It was funny. Princess Leia smiled because it was funny because he's so tall. And he had to bend down so much to get his medal on.
Wait, so that didn't happen?
That has never happened.
Oh my god, bro.
That has never happened. I've just blown your fucking mind.
Yeah, I remember 100%. Yeah.
That never happened.
Wow.
Do you remember C3PO?
C3PO, you're gonna find me out.
His silver leg.
Do you remember his silver leg growing up?
I don't remember a silver leg, no.
Because he was solid gold.
Yeah.
He was gold. He never had a silver leg. But I can forgive the silver leg thing. But then when you look at the toys, they didn't have a silver leg. But then I'm thinking that's just lazy toy making. I mean, toy making now, they don't even make the legs fucking move. Never mind. you get moving arms that do that.
I know.
Solid hard-on leg,
True.
I hate kid shopping for my kids. Oh, not for me, but buying toys. And it just gets me by the goat when you go, oh, that looks great, that toy. And then you get its leg, don't bend. Doesn't bend in the joint. Spoil it for me. Somebody bought me a toy as a kid that the joints didn't bend. I was out. Yeah, don't want that.
I had bought when I was a kid. Do you remember the staff that Jafar has in Aladdin with the snake on it?
Yes.
Okay. So they made a toy, a replica of that staff that you could buy. It was probably like this tall. It was really short, but you press a button on the back of it and the eyes would light up and it would hiss. This is true fucking story, dude. 100%. I could get my mom. I'd have to, call her, tell her to come over and tell you the story. So that toy, one day my brother, he had okay, there you go. Welcome to the show.
Welcome to the show, Lee, you absolute ledge. Thank you, mate. Appreciate that. Merry Christmas.
Anyway, so that toy, my brother at the exact same time got a laser blaster Star Wars toy, and we were running around. He would fake shoot me, and I was trying to hypnotize him with the staff. And I had dropped that staff, and the back battery part had fallen off, and the battery had fallen out and was gone. But I was so young, I didn't really care about that. I didn't notice it for whatever reason, and I just kept playing with it, and it would still go. It would still work. And one day it was under my bed, and I go to get it out from under my bed. My mom's there because we were going to leave. I was like, I want to take my toy. And so I pull it out and I start hitting the button, and I must have annoyed her with it, guys, at this point. But she goes to pull it around the back, and she takes it from me, and she goes, well, there's no batteries. And she starts hitting the button, and the thing keeps going hissing. The red lights keep going on in the eyes. It's insane. So my mom starts taking back to Toys R Us, like, what's going on? And we get it there, and the guy goes, well, there's got to be a Try Me battery or something in it. The batteries, the small ones they put in just so it works. They take that thing apart. No battery, no nothing. They put it back together, hit the button, the damn thing hissed, and we left the store. My mom goes, you guys can keep it. That was it.
Wow.
Whoa.
True
that's like,
story, 100%.
What's that film? Is it Toy Soldiers with the...
Dude, it was weird.
That's like some poltergeist shit, that.
Yeah. That's like, as far as like paranormal or weird thing, that's the only thing in my life that I've ever remember that was very strange. It freaked my parents out. My parents were, at least my mom was very, very religious when I was younger, and she didn't like that thing to begin with. But yeah, dude, it still worked. Crazy deal. The guy at Toys R Us was like, what the hell's the deal? I'm like, I don't know. She goes, you can keep it. We left. And so, ever since then, Ollie, I've tried to find one again, and I can't find it. I've looked online like crazy. I've tried to find that toy again because I want to buy another one. I can't find it. It's gone.
There's something
worth a lot of money.
Yeah, because it doesn't exist.
It's weird.
CERN got rid of it.
It's weird.
I do believe there's something to that conspiracy. I would love to do a show. Get Mick West in, Lou Reviews, Stephen Cambion, and just hit him with every single Mandela effect until like you could just see them crumbling. Like when they hear one, they go, "Yeah, I remember it like that as well." But it's just memory. It's just the way we remember things. No,
I
it's
bet you,
not.
I think Cambion would be way more on board with the Mandela
Yeah,
effect.
yeah,
I think
probably.
he
I'm just
still
joking.
likes to have a little bit of fun, man.
People like Mick West, you can't change his mind. He's his way or the highway. He's just going to debunk everything. So I think it's just pointless having him on for any subject. Personally, you can't change this guy's mind.
Do you think he's paid to do it? Well, he's paid to do it. But do you think
I wouldn't be surprised.
It's his
I wouldn't be
hobby, it
surprised.
seems like, or something. I don't know. I noticed that today on Twitter, Nick. He was going off on all sorts of parallax stuff lately, and I'm kind of like, okay, sure. I don't know. I don't know. I still think it's good to have somebody who like tears everything apart in the field, like in the topic. You need it. You need somebody
I
who
was a big Mick West supporter in the beginning, and I used to say, I think it was me that brought the saying up, West knows best. You know?
Yeah, I remember you saying that. Yeah.
It never quite caught on the way.
What changed that for you? What changed?
He's got things wrong.
What was the one where you finally looked at it and you were like, I don't know.
It was so the TikTok. I said TikTok.
It's Tic Tac like the candy, honey.
Yeah. The Tic Tac one, for one. You know, when I had a little bit of a back and forth with him on Twitter and said, so you're telling me, Mick, that David Fravor, just, a trained fighter pilot, saw this thing and it's a fucking bird.
Which one did he say was a bird? Maybe I'm missing something.
I'm probably getting it mixed up there. He said the one that the one that's in our intro. The whoa, got it. That one he said it was a bird. But David Fravor's one, he said,
the one that flies slow. Yeah. The one where they did the trigonometry on it. Yeah.
David Fravor's one, I can't remember what he said it was, but he was trying to explain. There was a whole debunk where he was over his swimming pool telling David Fravor, telling a fighter pilot what the fighter pilot saw. Now,
bold man.
Do you think is there something wrong there when somebody who's, I get that it's his job to debunk things, but it's one thing debunking UFO footage. I get that. But when you go in and telling a fighter pilot, you didn't see that, you saw this. It's a little bit like, what's the word I'm looking for? There's an intelligent word I'm looking for that I'm not that intelligent to get that word across to you, but there's a word there that I'm trying to get
yeah,
across.
I know. I'll try to think of it for you.
Okay, we're all not intelligent.
No, I know what you mean. Yeah, it's very arrogant. It's very arrogant for him to do that. Yeah,
there you go. Yeah, there you go. It's insulting.
Sure. Yeah, I mean, at some point you have to give somebody credit. Who's done this a lot more than you, flew planes and stuff. Yeah, I think Fravor's story is. I think he's seen what he's seen. I don't have any issue.
Mick West should say, I think David Fravor's an actor and he's lied. That's what he means. That's what he means. That's what he's saying. But he doesn't have the balls to say it. So he says,
well, you can be mistaken, though, Ali. There's a difference between being mistaken and then pushing, being an actor and pushing a narrative. I think those are two different things, though.
Too intelligent. I think Mick West is incredibly intelligent. But I think he knows. Either he doesn't trust David Fravor, but he knows how intelligent a fighter pilot has to be to fly those things, because I would say, arguably, that's more intelligent than Mick West.
Yeah,
a fighter pilot has to know what he's seeing, know what he's looking at. And how long did he say it for? He saw it for about 6 minutes. I know Dietrich saw it for
5 minutes for Fravor. I think 30 seconds or
for 40 seconds for Dietrich. I think it was less, but
could have been less. Yeah,
but I don't know. Maybe where she was at the time, she couldn't see it properly. I don't know.
Yeah.
It's odd that he pulled that debunk when he didn't see it himself. So that was the first kind of red flag for me. with him when he's telling the fighter pilot what a fighter pilot saw. I get the debunks. I even get the Corbell ones, you know, like the one he did with the pyramid thing. You know,
Yeah.
I get that. It does look like Boca. When he explained that, it looks like what it is. But the whole Fravor thing, just don't get it.
Isn't it interesting how Grush doesn't make any comments on those videos that Corbell's put out? He doesn't talk about 29 Palms, the triangles. Why doesn't he mention any of that stuff? You think just
Why
no one
doesn't
asks
somebody
him?
ask him?
Yeah, why is he not asked? Yeah.
Nobody's asked him.
Yeah, it's weird.
Who, like you name me one interview where somebody's asked him about those. I don't even think he's been asked about the Tic Tac. I could be wrong there,
I mean,
but
he was sitting there with them though, you know, at the hearing, so I'm sure he co-signs that. I don't know why he wouldn't.
He was sitting with them, but
yeah,
nobody's asked him about the footage.
It's true. It's true, yeah. I mean, that's why we needed Rogan to wake up and stop sleeping on his interview with Grush, man. He seemed like he was asleep. I feel like Rogan 5-6 years ago, he would have been awake and said, "What do you think about this video from Corbell?" And I mean, they talk. I mean, even if you thought the videos were fake or real, like, it seems like he would bring that stuff up to Grush. It's a good topic.
I'm a huge fan of Rogan. I mean,
yeah, me too. Yeah,
I don't watch every single one of his interviews because that would mean that I had no life. Because there's a lot of them.
Yeah,
but I pick the ones I want to watch. I was so looking forward to the David Grush one. One because I predicted it like 3 months ago. But I thought it was going to be I thought if anything, he was going to get something more out of him. And he just let him talk.
I think Rogan's getting disheartened, man. I think he's just like, we're not going to get anywhere with this. He's just kind of getting.
But then after he called him a useful idiot.
Yeah, I think he just let Grosh do his thing just to sort of analyze him. But yeah, quite right. Ice Cream, sort of take a step back, man. You know, he's not like that. You know, he's done over 1,000 episodes. You know, he gets into the nitty and gritty. But call him a useful idiot, that's saying something. I think he's starting to wise up to what's actually really going on.
No, I wasn't calling Joe Rogan a useful idiot. Joe Rogan called.
Yeah.
Useful idiot. Go on, sorry.
No, I was gonna say I figured like Rogan would have called him out more. I mean, even when Rogan interviewed Bob Bigelow, they started talking about, you know, the tarot card reading and the psychics. Rogan goes, "God, I wish we wouldn't have started talking about this right in front of him. Like, hey, I don't believe you now. You've turned into a wackadoo to me now. I wish we wouldn't have went here." You know, he didn't say anything like that with Grush. I just think that there's been this steady progression. Like Tom DeLonge let him down, Bigelow lets him down.
That was a great interview.
Yeah, it was.
Because
I mean, horrible for Tom, but yeah, good interview.
Yeah, I mean that was the turning point.
I was entertained. Yeah,
that was the turning point, and that is when I said this ages ago that I think even though it's Tom DeLonge's company, I think somebody was speaking advisors said you need to step away from this.
Yeah, for sure.
And Lou gets the reins.
Yeah.
Here's the question though. What if Lou was always supposed to get the reins?
What do you mean? You think they sabotaged Tom DeLonge, his own people, to get him out of there? They just wanted him to like promote it and get it off the ground, and then Elizondo picks up the football and runs?
Why show that? Why all of a sudden, you know, was he just so high that he wanted to show that? Or it's somebody being in Tom DeLonge's ear, showing him that, saying this is how it works, and wanted that to happen? Because he clearly showed what looks like CGI footage, but you know, these days when it comes to CGI, I don't know, because we kind of argue when it comes to old CGI and going, well, was it CGI? Maybe it was real.
Is it the TR3B?
Yeah, 3B,
yeah, that one. Oh, that's fake as fuck.
Yeah, no, I agree. But I find it interesting that he did that, and then straight away, the guy that he had introduced on that stage, Lou Elizondo, was all of a sudden the fucking showman, and then give it a few months later, maybe was it a year or was it about 6 months? I don't know. Both him and Mellon stepped away.
And Justice, yeah.
Yeah, and Justice.
Yeah. I mean, it's, you know, what's interesting what you're saying, Ali, is that was like the last thing they needed from Tom was like to get on Rogan. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know if Rogan would have had Elizondo on back in the day. You know, Rogan doesn't just talk to anybody. He only talks to people he really wants to talk to and people he has a lot of exposure to, which I don't know if they could have got him there, because at the end of the day, you don't want Tom DeLonge still in the spotlight with any of this at this point. At a certain point in time, you want to get him out of there, right? To get the topic to be really serious. Like, I like the guy's music and stuff. He's probably a good person, what have you, but you don't want him at Congress, man, with a punk rock outfit, or, you know, right? You have to at some point put a professional face on it.
You're gonna get Lou. You are still. I predicted that you would get Lou Elizondo, and I was wrong. I don't think I was wrong. I think you're gonna get Lou. I think that will be probably the first interview he does when he releases his book.
No,
oh, you think he's going to go on Rogan? Well, yeah,
Yes.
he could still go on Rogan. I'm talking about back in the day, though. Like when TTSA started, nobody knew who the hell Elizondo was. It wasn't going to be on Rogan's radar.
How much of a big show will that be, though? If right next year, Lou, all of a sudden, he's done all these little shows, so everybody's seen Lou. Everybody gets excited about shows with Lou on, yeah?
Yeah.
Who's good friends with Rogan? Corbell.
Yeah.
Who's Corbell good friends with? Lou.
Yeah.
That would be a really good way of giving that book a good Kickstarter. You know, to not just the fan base. Lou would be very clever to have held back that interview on Joe Rogan till that book is ready. That would be the best time. He does the small interviews. He doesn't put the attention there to go out on Joe Rogan. I think just before the book releases, that. So if this does happen, you've got to think who made it happen. Did Joe make it? Did Joe make it happen? Has it already been prearranged? Is there been a conversation? Listen, I really want to come on, Joe. Do you mind if we wait until the book is done, then I'll come on? I don't know if Joe's that kind of guy that somebody can say that to him and go, oh yeah, you know what? You don't come on the show. You wait, and I'll have you on later. But is the people that could be speaking to Joe Rogan to say, Joe, we'd like you to. Can you get this guy on? It'd be great if you could get this guy on.
You think Joe wants to talk to him, though? Do you really think he does?
If I was Joe Rogan, having the interest in UFOs, that would be the guy that I would want to interview, especially with everything that's happened, all the shit that's happened with the whole UFO thing over the last few years. His name has been involved. That's a big interview. That's a huge interview right now because there's people that want answers.
Yeah, it's big to us though, but I don't think he really knows what's been going on. I think Rogan doesn't really follow the topic like us at all. I really don't. I think the Grush interview was proof of that. He doesn't, you know.
But is that going back to the title of this video?
Yeah.
You know, the maybe he believes they're not aliens at all. You know, maybe that's why he's like, I'm not interested in this anymore. I'm not interested in what you got to say when it comes to the crafts, because that's not what it is. Maybe it's a few people. Your buddy Graham, Nick, he's been on a few times. Joe's a big fan of Hancock. He's all about the ancient history. He's had the guy talking about fucking Atlantis.
Yeah. Randall, yeah.
Carlson, right? Randall Carlson?
Yeah, Randall Carlson.
I think he's going down that route.
Why do you think he's waited to have Elizondo on, though? I don't
I'm
want me
just
to jump
I'm
back to that, but I mean, like, this is interesting enough to me at least. Like, why do you think he's waited? I've always asked that.
why is Joe waited?
Yeah, I mean, why wouldn't he had Elizondo on when he was on the news?
I don't think Joe's waited. I think, if anything, I think Lou's probably waited. If I was Lou and I was relying on that book to make a lot of money, what platform would I want to get on for that book to make maximum profit?
Well, what do you think? He thinks he couldn't make it on the show again, though. I mean, why he could have went on a couple of years ago, and then if he was a good guest, he could have came back.
What else could he say?
I guess, yeah. Well, I mean, if he wasn't convincing, I mean, if he convinced Rogan that there was a lot of truth to what he was saying, I think Rogan would have him back on, though. But if
I mean, he's had on 3 or 4 times.
Yeah, he's had people on. To be honest, I think he'd have Tom back on again. I think he would.
I would love to see that.
Yeah.
I would absolutely love to speak to Tom DeLonge, not even on here. If somebody said, like,
yeah,
Tom DeLonge's on a show, would you like to come and ask a couple of questions? I'm there because I was one of the people that when TTSA first launched and I found out it was Tom DeLonge, I was excited, and I'll tell you for why. Because growing up, my best friend was a huge Blink 182 fan. I could take them or leave them, but there were a couple of songs I really liked. But I saw some of because he had MTV. I didn't have MTV because I didn't have. It was on we have this platform called Sky TV.
Yeah.
And MTV was on there when I was growing up.
Wow.
And I can remember seeing some of the interviews on MTV where Tom DeLonge were talking about fucking aliens and shit like that. You might have seen it. It's out there, I think, still on YouTube. You can find it because I found it where he talks about JFK, all the books he reads on his tour and stuff like that. And I thought that's a cool guy because I was into all that sort of stuff.
Yeah.
So when I found out he was doing that, I was in. I was completely in. I'm like, this is me with a lot of money doing what I love. That's all I could think about. This is me with money to burn, just doing what I love. And I thought, I almost invested, but I just didn't have the money at the time. I'm like, if I put £200 in, my missus is going to know about that. What did you spend that on? I put it in some UFO shares. That's not going to go down well, you know.
Yeah,
because they think back in 2017, ufology was in a completely different state. Yeah, sure. I remember being excited. I was a Blink 182 fan. I was Tom DeLonge fan, but I noticed very quickly the cracks started to slip, especially when it came into money. And I said this on the last episode that we were in, on your show, Terrestrial Materials. Danny Sheenhan wants $1,000 to get extra privileged information, and it's a bit like the same with TTSA. As soon as you get his money into it, I'm sorry, I don't buy it. And look how that ended in disaster.
I mean, I was
know where that money went.
Well, to that movie that's not very good, I hear. Yeah, I mean, I was willing to give him a shot.
What movie's not very good?
The Monsters of California movie. That's what I hear.
I have not watched it.
I haven't watched it. It came out earlier this year. I don't know, a few months ago or something like that. It's the movie they were supposed to be making, but yeah, I mean, look, how could you have not gave him credit? I agree with you, Nick. Before pre-TTSA, there's such a hard line in ufology. Because pre-TTSA, it's the coast to coast era just has been forever, right? Everyone always looks back to coast, everyone on coast to coast. That was kind of gospel. And then post that, I mean, you had YouTube channels, you had Jimmy Church. I mean, you still got Jimmy Church, I guess, but I mean, he's still there. I mean, you had these other channels that were around, but you never seen anything on that kind of a scale. And then when you hear the story that Tom tells of how he got involved and Stephen Bassett said that it was actually Lockheed Martin that he first went to, and that his buddy that worked for that company, that's where he went to. He was at the parking lot, which I didn't know it was Lockheed until the other night when we were talking to him. But that's what he said. So that whole story seemed to make sense, and the books kind of came out, and then the Podesta emails or the leaks, and he had been talking to them, and there's so much to it. I think the whole thing where TTSA kind of falls apart is just the ship, man. We never got a ship. We never got that money. And then everybody kind of left. It's just, it just didn't pan out. But the pandemonium, he was the Beatles in ufology, guys. That was the Beatles when he came out with TTSA.
That shit,
Yeah.
God damn. Love that thing.
It's a cool ship, man.
Do you think an aircraft like that is going to cost millions, or we were talking about billions here?
Billions.
Billions.
Well, it's going to cost lives to try to get those blueprints out anyway. To try to get that technology out like that and everything it would take. I mean, looking back on it, man, I was super naive looking at that. How the hell were they ever going to build that thing, man? With some investment money? What you think Steve Justice shoved the blueprints up his ass when he walked out of Lockheed Martin Skunk Works? Like, you think he had a thumb drive up his nose? How are they going to get that stuff out of there? I mean, it's like the physics that it would require, the math and everything you would need to make that craft. Justice couldn't just remember that stuff and write it down. What is he, fucking Rain Man? I mean, come on, dude. Like, they would have had to have documents that were classified stuff to be able to get into it. So when you look back on it, hindsight's always 20/20 though. It definitely was very far-fetched what they were trying to do. So I'm not surprised we didn't get the ship. It's bullshit, but we didn't get it. No.
Can you imagine if we did get the ship?
I mean, the world would be very different today. It'd be beginning to be very different. I mean, when the technology comes out, it's going to be a change, but it won't be, drastic overnight.
I just can't imagine the conversations like that were involved at TTSA going, so we'll do this. We'll make films. We'll do this thing called the Adam Project, where we'll get some. Do you remember the Adam Project?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Vaguely, but yeah.
The safe where there was a classic. They closed the safe, and you saw Lou Elizondo packing those little pieces.
Packing it up and going in the truck. Yeah.
And then we thought we were going to hear more about that.
Yeah.
And then we never did. And the Adam Project slowly disappeared. But the Adam Project was supposedly going to be a big thing. I got excited about the Adam Project. I really did. Like, thinking about those like fucking metamaterial pieces of metal and what we would hear about, which kind of Gary Nolan's taken the reins on that. The conversations that must have happened to go. So we've got the Adam Project, we've got the entertainment business, we've got all of us lot. Should we make a flying fucking saucer? I mean, it's not the craziest idea. Let's do it. Let's put it out there. Somebody had got extremely fucking high. I mean, that's some David Wilcock shit. That right there.
I mean, they sold Justice on coming out. That was the craziest thing. I think Steve Justice brought the most validity to TTSA to me, more than Hal Puthoff or any of those guys. It was like, whoa, where is Steve Justice coming from? Why do we have this guy? I'd love to see
an interview with this guy.
He's never spoke. He's never spoke.
Steve, how are you going to make this thing?
Oh, Mick. Could you imagine getting that interview, dude? Oh, my God.
That would break UFO.
Talk about 5 million views overnight. Yeah, talk about 5 million views overnight, dude. Holy!
What was the plan?
Yeah.
How are you going to do this?
Yeah.
Well, with investors' money, we could have maybe made the radio.
yeah, maybe. Yeah. Well, I mean, look, they thought they were going to make a lot more money than 3 million. They thought it was going to be a lot more that was going to come down the line.
3 million.
Yeah, Manny said it was like a little over 3 million. Yeah, right. That they pulled in.
I know Manny and I think Stephen Cambion were working on trying to get the investors their money back at some point.
Yeah, I don't know how that's going to work because the SEC, the whole argument that they had, the SEC had pulled up against them is gone. It's gone now. And that's what Manny was talking about when we had him on, is he was saying that when they looked at the people that were involved with TTSA, Chris Mellon and people like that, they probably turned away from it and said it's not worth it. They're going to fight it and it's not worth the money. So there is some true power. It's not in a spaceship, but it's in a person. Chris Mellon's pretty powerful.
Do you think we're gonna get another TTSA at some point?
I don't see why not.
No.
I mean, you're going to need the dust to settle a little bit, though. You're going to need people to kind of forget for a little while. I don't think you'll see it within the next 5 or 10 years. No, it would take longer than that. You got to get a real whistleblower. Go ahead, Nick. I'm sorry.
No, it's all right. I just think people have just been burnt out and just they're kind of fed up with false promises and false hopes with these organizations. Like I said, it's 2024 is going to be an interesting year. What's going to happen? I think, yeah, most likely legislation and Congress and stuff. But in terms of these organizations, like a bit like TTSA sort of organization, I think it just needs to take a step back. We've got Danny Sheenhan's and Soul Foundation at the moment. So there's enough money going into there at the moment, whatever their grift is, as one would say, or whatever they're up to.
Yeah, I don't. 2024 is either going to be a rocket ship year for this, man, and it's really going to blow up, or I think it just falls flat on its face and we go way, way, way back. I don't see how it could be any different. I think you're right, Nick. People are getting fed up with this at this point in time. Yeah.
See, I had an argument with Lee on the other day driving home from work about the Roswell stuff that might come out next year. So, we were going back and forth with that, and it's like, are we gonna get anything? We want an argument, it was a debate. And genuine, like Lee's so like hot and cold with this. Like 1 minute is like it's fucking aliens. Next minute it's like I have no idea what it is. It's like, but I get where he's coming from because it's so confusing with the information that we're hearing. You have no idea what to believe. I think that's by design, by the way.
Maybe that's right where they want us. Yeah. Yeah.
Because I think it was Department of Defense or the FBI or CIA wrote a book called Roswell Case Closed back in the 90s. That's pretty saying, okay, that's it. They don't want any information coming about it. I've been saying it again and again. I think it just leads to disappointment. This is ufology, guys. We've learned a valuable lesson this year of just being let down. And I reckon these documents probably going to prove nothing because it came from Project Blue Book. A disinformation campaign. Okay, there might be some truth into it. Who knows? I really hope I eat my words out when it comes to this. I like to be wrong at some point. But it just leads to disappointment, guys. I hope Lee's right. I really do. I do hope Lee's right. But time will tell. Do you know what date is coming out? Do you know? Is there a specific date?
Well, no, that's not Lee. Lee's like, I don't think we're going to get anything. It's like, I think we're going to get the Roswell case. He's right by that, but he hasn't necessarily said that we're going to get a fucking smoking gun. But
sure, yeah.
We're back and forth with Roswell being the year. I think Roswell will definitely play a part next year because we are going to get a lot of the files released. Whether it's just like a load of bollocks, I don't know. I'm hoping not. I'm hoping I would say enough time. I mean, at what point? Okay, if you were NASA, forget Roswell, yeah? If you were NASA and they know what's going on up there and it is extraterrestrials, at what point is it going to be a good point for that company to say we have lied to you?
I don't think it's up
and
to
I'm
NASA,
talking about NASA, not the actual Navy military, which I would arguably the Navy military is a bigger deal than NASA. So I'm just going to take it to NASA there, which is. But at what point is it? Is it going to be? How do they do that? I would say somebody steps down or somebody dies and somebody goes, well, now I'm the new boss. I'm going to tell you this shit. That's the way it should be done.
It's not going to come from NASA, though. It's the information.
Military is different. Military, Navy is completely different kettle of fish.
Yeah. I mean, NASA would have the evidence by now.
No, but yeah, exactly. That's why I don't think NASA can release, because as much as NASA is it's funded by us, or you guys. I don't think
Terrestrial, not us. No.
Well, I think we probably do a little bit. We send.
Yeah, listen, NASA is NASA's a fakery, man. They're the bakery where they sell weed in the back. That they're a front. That's all that they are. That's all that system is. They do what they're told. They'll release what they want, what they're told to release. I mean, they're trying to get back to the moon at this point. If you even believe that they went.
Is that 2025?
Yeah, I don't know. It's taken them a really long time to do what they did in the 60s with a microwave and a calculator. It's very weird.
Did you just say if you believe that they went?
I go back and forth, but last night we watched.
Yeah, we're doing a show on that.
Well, I go back and forth.
Lily excited about that.
But we were laughing. Me and my wife were laughing last night because we were watching the clip of Lex Friedman and Jeff Bezos, where Bezos is talking about, making this new lander to go back and forth to the moon. And they're talking about with NASA on the process and how it's going to work. And I'm thinking, God, there's a whole lot of thought and process and planning that if you guys figured this out in the 60s technology, man, what is taking them so long? And what I find very interesting what NASA's doing right now with that is they keep saying, we go. That's the slogan, we go. When have you ever heard someone describe something that they've done before without past tense? Why are they not saying we go back? I feel like they're saying we go
back to the moon.
Yes. Why don't they say that? Why is the slogan we go? You see, because what I think is going to happen is when they go, if they do go, which I'm sure this time they could probably go. Okay, maybe they have the technology now, and I don't understand. But when they go, guys, has anybody thought about this? When they land there, who cares about the old conspiracy, whether or not they went anymore? No one's going to talk about whether or not we went to the moon in the 60s. Who cares? That they rewrite history. And that's why I say, because people will say, well, yeah, they went, but they didn't go in the 60s. They're going to go, yeah, but who cares? They're there now. So who gives a shit? That's exactly what's going to happen. So NASA's actually getting a chance to rewrite the story. And if you were going to rewrite the story, what would you want to do? You would say, we go. You wouldn't acknowledge the past at all because you want everyone to forget that. We want to push that to the side. Well, we're there now. So none of the thing before matters.
And then you get somebody from NASA going, well, that was like some old corporation.
Correct.
That was an old boss. We don't know. We don't have the file. I can't do the accent.
Listen, if Nick, if they land on the moon, all the previous stuff is erased. It doesn't matter anymore.
We lost. We lost all the old files.
Yeah, it won't matter because they got the new ones.
That fucking who was it that said that they lost the technology to go back to the moon?
That guy they interviewed, he said, well, that was written over and we lost it. It's so crazy.
Fucking I don't know.
It's so crazy. Like I don't understand how people
don't know where we put it.
No. I think it's pretty. If he doesn't have a live stream camera on that astronaut when he gets out, I want him to get out of that lander. No cuts, no nothing. Get out and then go. And then I want him to pull up the old flag, Ollie, because the old flag is missing stars, by the way. And this is another interesting thing about rewriting history. Now, listen, it's missing stars. So when they go to replace the old flag and put the new one there, which erases history again.
How do we know it's missing stars?
It's missing a couple states. I think.
Right. You mean the old one should have had
the old state.
The
old states. So when they remove that, I want to see the old flag if it was there, because they're going to put a new one guaranteed. And that's how, and if they don't show us that, they're going to be like, oh, well, people say, well, where's the old flag? Well, it's gone. They got rid of it. We got the new one though. So just look at the new one, it's just like, come on, man. We need a live stream of them on there doing all of this for everyone to just be completely on board with it at that point. I mean, what's taking them so long, dude?
Yeah. If Werner von Braun was alive today, you'll be laughing like, come on, what is going on? What's going on here, guys? It's ancient technology, and Yeah, because those statements of what that guy said, oh yeah, we lost the technology, we lost the original tapes. That concept alone is just like, what the fuck? How can you erase, one of the biggest achievements in human history, and you erase the tapes and you lost the technology? For me, that's going, hold on a goddamn second. No, something's not right here. Okay, did we go to the moon? So I'm back and forth with this.
We lost the tapes, mate.
I don't think we did. I don't think we did, man.
We did. We lost it.
Richard Hoagland said. Richard Hoagland admitted
otherwise, because you will get a slap on the face by Buzz Aldrin.
Listen, Richard Hoagland admitted that at those radio stations or at the news stations, they had sets that were built to look like the moon because in case they lost the feed, they could cut to, because he said live television with no pictures is boring. So we created these sound stages and these moon landing stages in case when the feed got cut, they could switch over to the fake footage and it would say, a simulation from this radio station, blah, blah. That's real. So we know that they did build those sets, which is always so weird because, it's like they did everything. They built everything to make it a conspiracy. Everything they needed was there. And that's not even to talk about how bad some of the footage is and how some of the shadows are everywhere.
So I've had a lot of arguments from my father about did we land on the moon? He's like, I saw it on the fucking television.
Must be true.
Don't tell me I didn't. It didn't happen. And I'm like, okay, Dad, I get that. And it was like, so, and the footage was it was live television. That's why it was so bad. I said, okay. So the most historical moment for all mankind, you're telling me the only camera that we're going to film that moment from is a live camera attached to the outside that could have possibly got down, may have popped down, I don't know, got damaged, but a live camera feed. Where is Buzz Aldrin going over the top with his camera going, waving and going, good luck. Making sure his foot doesn't dissolve when he treads in the cheese. I don't get how there wasn't other cameras. It's at what point do we do that? Because we film everything. We film absolutely everything.
Well, first of all, how long were they on the moon for? Was it like 4 hours? If I
no, I'm sure.
I don't think it was days. No,
I think it's about 8 hours in total.
I just took it a screenshot. Jesus Christ!
Okay.
Did you guys hear that?
Okay.
How long was Buzz Aldrin and Neil Armstrong on the moon?
0 minutes, 0 seconds.
It's fake.
Yeah.
Oh my God, what the hell is this, bro? I'm not paying for that.
I wish it's about 8.
I wish I could work a phone.
Hours.
Like, no, I'm sure it was longer than that. Okay, I'm sure it was.
I wish we could hear more conversation from them. Some of those more recordings. I would imagine.
I'm going to do it. Wait. Okay, Google. How long was Buzz Aldrin, Neil Armstrong on the moon? "21 hours and 36 minutes. There you go.
Okay, close to a day. That's a long time.
Google, shut up.
Yeah.
Fine. Heard you.
I wish we would have got more radio chatter, I feel like they maybe would have had some fun, but God, they had to have been scared. I mean, if they did go, they would have said, hey, I hope this thing goes again, when they were gonna leave. They didn't even know if they were gonna get off the moon and make it back. The anxiety had to be insane. I don't care who you are, man. I don't know. There's so many weird things like that. It seemed too perfect all the time,
I'm really confused right now because we're 1 hour and 44 minutes in. How are we going to bring it back in line with Tucker Carlson says then there are no aliens, That
that's the main thing. Yeah, there are no aliens.
No, so they're not aliens, he says. They're not aliens.
Would you classify reptilians as aliens?
I would class a reptilian as an actual fucking dinosaur.
With a brain.
You know, an evolved version of the dinosaur.
Yeah, maybe. Yeah, it's interesting.
Well, they were reptiles.
I'll entertain it.
They were reptiles.
That's true.
Even the
once you get Ike on here, he can tell us.
Yeah.
But I would risk the entire shutdown of the channel for David Icke. I would.
Be interesting, yeah.
Yeah, he's an interesting. I like David Icke. He's a bit out there.
A bit.
A little bit out there, but he's likable. I like him. He's a complete and utter conspiracy god.
He's so out there. I think he landed on the moon before we did. I'll tell you that.
Like, can you imagine David Icke and Alex Jones in the same room?
Yeah.
That
Didn't
would
that really
be.
happen?
No, I don't think that's happened. Has that ever
No, I
happened?
think we just talked. No, I don't know.
You see, what I love about you, David, is when you talk about the reptile presidents, it all makes sense.
Has David Icke and Alex Jones ever happened? Or if it has, and I've missed it, then I have been asleep under a fucking rock.
I don't think they spoke, man. I've never seen anything like that. Yeah.
I can't think about
like because David Icke is like he's basically the UK's Alex Jones, even though he doesn't live on the UK, he lives in an island.
Here's the thing, though. It would be interesting is if Icke, I mean Jones too. I mean Jones, I think is maybe a little bit more flexible than David is, though. But the problem is when you get a lot of those guys that age, is they don't really like to speculate.
Alex Jones does not look flexible.
Well, what I mean, like on his opinions on his
stuff,
looks
like, quite stiff, you know. He's
right. But like they lose like a lot of their will to sit down and speculate and have those kind of conversations, dude. That's what I kind of noticed with the last couple of people that we spoke to, like Grant and Bassett. Like you can't really have a speculation conversation with them. They don't want to do that. Like they have their idea. They just want to go. And
by the way, people, go check out Terrestrial's channel below, because you had Grant on and you had Bassett on a few weeks ago.
I didn't mean to name drop them, dude. It's the only way I can make my point.
It's fine. Yeah. But I get what you're saying there, because I watched those interviews and they have a way of thinking, and it's to change that is in
well, not even to change it. They don't even want.
They have
like,
a structure.
Speculate.
They have a structure to that thinking.
Yes. And so it's kind of, you get into that. Like I went into those interviews thinking, dude, I'm going to ask them this. I'm going to ask them this. And even if I got to a question, they would quick answer, shut it down real quick, and then go off on what they wanted to talk about. And then by the second interview like that, I realized, okay, these guys don't want to have a conversation. They just have their message that they want to put out there. And that's fine. But I didn't get exactly what I wanted out of that. So I'm taking that back to David Icke. If you had Alex Jones and him talking, how do you know that they would even want to have like an interesting speculation other than anything you've already heard? Because like if you look at that Twitter space that Greer was in, did you hear that? You get the same thing with Greer. Anytime anybody
that was Ashton Forbes with Greer
that with Forbes with Greer, Kim.com, and every time anyone would talk any different, like Keemstar was in there, they'd ask him a little something different. He wouldn't speculate at all. He's right on narrative. He's right on the railroad, and that is it. And that's what makes those interviews, in my opinion, not as interesting as they could be.
I think Greer's a hard interview. I think for anybody,
all those guys are. I guarantee it. They all are. Yeah.
So I know I say it quite often on here, but you guys know of it. I mean, that I had Secure Team 10 on.
Yeah.
Quite some years ago. He had like one of the first major interviews with Stephen Greer. And if you watch that, one of the questions I asked him about Stephen Greer was, how did you think the interview went? And he's like, he's a difficult interview because he controls that interview. He's got his thing that his mission is. So did you watch one, Kurt Jamungle?
Yeah.
Did you see how quickly that escalated when Kurt asked him real questions?
Yeah, of course. Of course.
But I get it, Greer's not a physics guy. He has no idea. So it's like, well, you're asking me questions there that I just don't know the fucking answers. So I get that. But Kurt challenged him. He didn't like the challenge. He did not like that at all.
No,
Do you
he
think
got
a lot of his
frustrated,
interviews are do you think a lot of his interviews are pre-planned with Greer?
That's what I heard. I heard you have to give Greer questions. That's what I heard.
We
I've heard that
first
as
reached
well.
out to Greer. We needed to have a certain amount of subscribers, so we reached out to its. We didn't speak to Greer. We spoke to his handlers, his fucking secretary, whatever. I don't know. Whoever gets back to you, but the channel's not big enough to get a Greer on. Maybe one day.
What a dick.
No. He doesn't even know how much I fucking love him.
I know. Well. No, I get it. I get it.
If he only knew how much I fucking love that man, he would come on here.
I don't know. It's like a lot of those. It's like Ali. I want conversations with people like that. How we all talk here, Nick. You know. These are the kind I want to open forum. Let's speculate. Let's have some fun. Like I get Greer what he thinks is going on, but what about this AI thing? You know, I want to get his perspective on that. I want to hear how his mind works when he hears that. That's the stuff it's gold. It's like they don't even understand that that's really what's interesting. I mean, if I hear that he's a trauma doctor one more time, dude, like, okay, we get it. Were you a trauma doctor?
He said that with Ashton when he was on with Ashton.
Yeah. Oh, I skipped the first 15, 20 minutes of every single Greer interview he's ever does because I already know what he's going to say. And so I'm just like, I'll pop in 15 minutes in, you know.
Can you imagine if like I finally get that Greer interview and he starts going around the trauma? And I go, just stop you there, Stephen. Can we just skip ahead past that? We don't want to hear that.
Yeah, but that's what sucks. Like, I get it. You can't do that. You know, you kind of got to take some of it. And look, I think it's okay for them to have like the information that they want to get out there. I just wish that they would give you some breathing room to kind of have a little bit of fun and to kind of answer some questions. And it's just not there. And I don't think that's going to change the older a lot of these guys get. You know what I mean?
The thing is, though, everybody's got a bit of ego. Like,
sure,
I've got ego when I'm doing the show. You know, I don't know if I've not seen your ego yet, Ice Cream. I've not seen Nick's. I've seen a lot of people's egos in this field. Mine's quite obvious. It comes out because I'm just like that. And I think Greer's got an ego to him. He's got that. He wants people to know his history, what he's done, you know, what he's done for people. You know, I'm a nice guy. I was a doctor. He's got a lot of that he just wants to say. Now, is ego a real bad thing, or is it just something you just can't get rid of? You know,
it's a tool.
Is a guy with an ego that, and maybe that just naturally just rolls off his tongue, and he just can't help himself to repeat himself over and over again that he was a trauma doctor.
Yeah, because he's put himself out on like a pedestal. You know, he's got this real good reputation now in ufology. You mentioned about Stephen Greer, so everyone's ears picks up. You know, it's like it's for me. No. Stephen Greer said the Germans had anti-gravity flying saucers, and they deported from Germany to America. And I'm like, yeah, right, bruv. Not buying it at all.
Who's he been speaking to? Because obviously you've done a lot of research on that, and I guarantee you've done more than Stephen's done on that one subject.
Yeah.
Because that's all you do, Nick. Is
it's very sad. Yes, I know.
It's cool, man. It's cool.
I'm joking.
But if that's true, who's he been speaking to?
Exactly?
Who's put this into his? I mean,
Tom DeLonge.
History Channel.
He knows people. But who are these people? I want to interview. I want to speak to the person that knows more about what Nazi flying saucers than Nick. You know, I'm sure Nick wants to speak to that person on his channel as well.
I don't know. I haven't seen anybody with the books and the knowledge that Nick has, though. Nobody.
I don't think I've met anybody with as many UFO books as Nick.
That too.
Yeah. I mean, welcome to the show. I just missed your comment earlier saying define a researcher. I mean, in terms of like, it depends on what subject you do. I mean, me is the Nancy Flying Saucers. I mean, I wouldn't consider myself a researcher, but I've done a lot of more. Oh,
you're a researcher in that, Nick. I think that's fair to give you that credit, man. Come on. I mean,
yeah, I guess so. Yeah, but there's.
I know what Lee and Lee welcome to the show saying though. You can't define it. You can't define it because you can't define researchers. No. It's hard to. But
there's a lot of people on, like, for instance, just go on Twitter, then call themselves a researcher because they put a few tweets out, and it's just, for me, that's not good enough. If you. Sometimes you have to step away from the internet and like I do is get all these books. These are like the original stories. This is where you're going to find where everything originated from. And unfortunately, the internet ain't going to give you that, So I won't classify that as a researcher,
I have never considered myself a researcher. The only time I ever considered myself a researcher was when I didn't even believe in it at the time, and I went and did the paranormal hunt with Dave and Lee. I felt like an actual researcher because I was trying to find out if this thing was real. And 2, when I went UFO hunting with Dave. And that was with very fucking good night vision goggles, and I mean good, like stupidly good.
I don't consider myself anything of any of this. When you said YouTuber last weekend, I even cringed a little bit at myself. I'm like, I don't see myself as any of that. Content creator.
It's not a cool name anymore, YouTuber, is it?
It's not even like it's a cool name. It's just I just don't look at myself as any of that stuff. I don't even know what to put a label on it. Maybe a label sucks to even put a label on it. I don't know. We're just conversationists.
Good point. That's good word.
We're just people that are just talking about it, man. I don't know. Like, I think if there was more truth, more verifiable evidence, hard evidence, I think maybe you could start to throw more of those labels around there at that point. But I don't know. Don't put a label on me, man. I don't know what I am, dude.
It's like calling ice cream an influencer.
Yeah.
Oh,
I'd hate that.
Every time I heard
that, dude. Oh my God.
Yeah. I understand, man. I heard this fucking like 16-year-old and the big ego that he had, and somebody said, "Oh, what do you do for a living?" "I'm an influencer." I thought, oh God. Fucking good luck for you, sunshine. Honestly, you have no social skills, no work skills, and you call yourself an influencer. I can't stand that word.
It's not even like that. YouTubers, it's not like YouTuber's a dirty word. Like, I don't mean it like that. Like, you shouldn't say that about yourself. I'm just telling you how I feel about myself, man. I just don't feel that. Now, maybe 5 years down the road, if my channel were to explode or something like that, and I'm making a bunch of money off the channel, maybe I would say to you, I do YouTube for a living. Maybe I'd say that. But even then, I don't know, dude. I don't like to be too attached, I guess, to certain things like that. Yeah. Because I bounce around, man. My hobbies are here and there and everywhere. There's multiple things. Like, I love this topic, dude, but I fucking love video games, dude. I've been a gamer, hardcore gamer my entire life. You know, I've got that side of things. I've got my job. I've got my family. I grew up playing ice hockey since I was a kid. I love hockey. I love MMA, UFC. There's so many things that I like. Maybe that's just why my brain doesn't like to throw myself into a box, because then I feel like I'm stuck there and I have to give up time for these other hobbies and things. And I don't want to do that. I want to be able to make time. And that's why I think about making other channels, more than just the UFO channel, just, making more of a UFC channel or making more of a gaming channel. But that's not what we're talking about tonight. But just going off what you're saying, Ollie. Just the ego thing. I don't know. You say you haven't seen my ego. Well, you should have seen me at 21 years old playing Call of Duty. You'd have seen my ego. So, Oh, buddy, back in the day, I was really bad. I was really bad. You wouldn't have wanted to play with me. I was really good at games. And so if you weren't very good and you were on my team, I let you know. So, but look, that's being young. I'm 33 now. I'm not yelling at people online or nothing anymore. I don't care. It's a video game. But back then, boy, I was going to tell you.
I'm 43, so I was probably 33 when I was doing that.
Look, man, I look, Ollie, it's hard to bring an ego to this topic for me, man. It just is. Like I said, there's no hard proof.
I would say
I can't get offended. You know, it's hard to get
I would
offended.
say for content creators doing this topic right now, it's probably more important than any other topic other than actual proper education that people can do on YouTube or Rockfin or Rumble or whatever platform you're on. Because I do believe that this topic, and it's slowly creeping in, will start to come massively into mainstream media. Huge.
I hope so, man.
I don't think you can stop it now. I think the genie's out of the bottle.
Does Tucker Carlson make you feel that way? That's a big jump into the mainstream. It is.
No. I felt this way for a while now.
Okay.
I just think that I think it's interesting when somebody. I think you've got a lot to lose off the back of this. You can only say it for so long before you start to be called an idiot. Especially when it's political people saying this. I don't understand why political people have started to get into this. Whether it's just to win a few, because UFO people are small. You know, we're not a big crowd. If you're trying to win us over for votes, that doesn't make sense to me. Well, it definitely doesn't. Maybe I'm looking at that from a UK aspect. I don't know, because there's not many people in the UK into UFOs. But I'm seeing a lot of your political guys getting into UFOs and putting it out there.
Was that the real Lou?
Yeah,
Lou,
I was going to
get
say,
in here, Lou.
I've got about 3 banned Lou's now. Is this the Lou? Are you the real Lou? I may have unbanned this Lou.
Lou, tell us the truth, Lou. Why didn't you take the challenge from Richie to go behind the barn? Because you knew Rich would have took you out.
It's me. No, it is Lou. People, it's Lou. It's the actual Lou. Oh my god! Wow.
Get in here, Lou.
We're fine, Lou. We're good. We're good. How are you? How are you?
Lou, why didn't you make the spaceship with Tom DeLonge? Come on. Tell us the truth. You hate Tom, don't you? I know you hate him.
Why Lou left. He knows that. The spaceship.
Rich won't have me on the show, he said. Yeah, I'm sure Rich wouldn't have you on the show, I'm sure. Oh my goodness. No way the real Lou he wouldn't have an underscore, dude. The underscore is the tell-all. That's a troll.
There you go.
Oh yeah, he can't spell cum for sure. You might as well put cum at that point. Come on, it's just as obvious.
Come on, mate. It's been too blue here.
This bloke's off his bean.
Anyway, we've come to. If this is the real Lou, send me a picture of your penis. I'll know.
Going over to Goofon. Oh, yo, I can't lie. Listen, hold on. I gotta be honest, dude. I don't care what people think. The joke that Richie made about Lou crushing his wife was fucking hilarious, bro. I was on the floor laughing at that. And he brought it up again a few weeks ago, dude. I was laughing then. That is extremely funny. It's a joke, people, but it is funny.
I did want to say something because I don't know if he may still. I think he still watches in the background, but I'm glad that Rich is feeling much better.
Yeah,
and got his gallbladder removed finally.
Yeah, it's terrific, man. It's terrific.
Yeah. So
yeah, there's nothing but love for the goof on.
I do watch Richie's show on a regular basis.
I do too. Every night.
And when I saw that I was like, why is this show just 54 minutes? And I was listening in the car, and then I realized it went off. Then as soon as I saw there was a 20-minute show, I clicked on it and I thought I'll just skip to the end. I just said to myself, I bet he's ill again. And I thought there's something seriously wrong with this guy. And Glad he's sorting it out.
Yeah, for
But,
sure.
boys, we've reached the
Climax.
you can take it. Lou, do me a favor. Do me a favor, lad. Right? Where is it? Where is it? Where is it? There you go. Go buy a T-shirt. Love you.
Dude, what would you do?
Guys.
What would you do if he went on Rogan and wore that fucking T-shirt, dude? You would be like, holy shit, that was Lou.
I mean, I've had people buy T-shirts that are famous.
Oh,
like
God almighty.
You know.
Holy shit. Corbell can't believe it. He's starstruck. He can't believe it.
Yeah, but yeah. And Steven, you buy a T-shirt as well because you like Bigfoot. Go on.
Oh man,
that's getting old now. I need to get rid of
If you buy my new book, I'll send you a signed copy.
I will, Lou. I will 100% buy your new book. I'm gonna have to get my wife to read it to me, but you know, if you got an audio version, I'm there, mate. I'm there. Right. Hidden's not even here. Oh shit. Hidden couldn't make it on the show. His fucking roof blew off his house.
What?
Yeah, shit.
How does that happen?
I don't know. We've had shit weather here. He's like, his roof's blown off his house. Poor lad. Hidden.
Dude.
It's not funny.
I mean, it's not, but like, yeah, it's terrible. But at the same time, it's like, how does that happen?
That's gonna cost a fortune.
Oh my God.
Like, how does somebody's roof blow off the house?
Stop laughing. It's not funny.
I'm not laughing.
Listen. Every T-shirt that gets sold, give Hidden $1 for that fucking roof. Give him a quid. Come on.
No, this is what I'm saying though. Like, you need to go over to. He's in the Hidden's in the description as well because folks going to come on the show.
Yeah.
Please go over, support his channel. Maybe chuck him a book or two.
Yeah.
If he's got like a PayPal or whatever you see on there.
Pitch in, boys.
He's in some shit at the minute. So if you go help him out, that would be.
I mean, he's okay, right?
He's fine. He's fine.
Okay, good.
Financially, he's not fine.
Yeah. I can imagine. Yeah.
And his fucking house is like, because it was like full storm and rain and what. So he's in a bad way. So yeah, as it's a funny story, but it's not funny at the same time.
Yeah. I'm just thinking of the cartoonish way a roof would come off. That's why I'm
me too. When he told me, I was like, what?
Yeah, at first I thought you were kind of kidding. And I'm like, you know,
it's completely true. But his channel's in the description. He was supposed to be on tonight. Guys, if you love Hidden, go send him some love. And if you can send him some money, go support him.
Yeah, for sure.
Because he needs it right now. But yeah, Nick, your channel's in the description below.
Yes.
I know you deleted the entire video.
Oh yeah. So Christmas Day, I promised you I'm going to give you a treat. It will be done 100%. That is Monday. It's going to be Christmas Day for you guys. Yes. I'm going to spend this weekend getting everything sorted. So trust me, I'm going to show you what research you can do. And I mean that with quotations. So I'm just going to slam some information in your face. I might do it live. I'm not too sure. Depends on what's going on Christmas Day. I've got to see family and all that. But yeah, I promise you, I will give you some Nancy flying saucers when you wake up. That would be my Christmas present to you. And guys, awesome. Please support Hidden as well. Hidden, if you need help, bro, give us a shout. We're a community. We'll help you out. All right.
I'll drive down there. I'm not even going to build, but I'll try. I'm sure I can strap some bin bags up. That's it. But whatever I can do, I'll do. Just go support Hidden. His channel's in the description below. Oh. I feel bad for him. It's funny, but it's not funny. It's a funny story. It's terrible.
Right.
Especially in the UK right now.
Yeah.
But when he told me, I thought, is he for real? He's like, nice. I'm not joking. Actually happened. Fucking roof is blown off his house. So yeah, go support that man. Ice cream.
Yeah. So tomorrow we're going live early. We're doing 11:15 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, because French was like, why don't we just get up in the morning and have coffee and have our early coffee with the show? So we're going to do that. And we're doing kind of like a year-end wrap-up show where we're going to talk about not only like favorite parts of the year and cool things that went on, but we also want to talk about, what it was like getting the podcast started, and obviously give our thanks out there to people like you, Ali, and your whole channel, and Nick, and I mean, it's going to go on and on and on tomorrow with a lot of thank yous, and there'll be mushiness, I'm sure, for getting started. And then we want to preview a little bit of what's going to go on next year with the channel and how things are going to change a little bit. And I'll save that
when you get me, Goof on Cambion, and Lou Reviews all on the same show.
Dude, we'll see. We'll see what happens.
I'll do that.
I would love to. I would love to. We got to see if we can get everybody to agree. But yeah, that's tomorrow, Saturday, 11 a.m. Standard or Eastern time in the morning.
Cool.
Yep.
Make sure you head over, people. Make sure you head over. And I appreciate you giving us a fantastic year here on Alien Addict. So you're all awesome. Make sure you, if you haven't, go hit the bell icon. If you're not subscribed, hit the thumbs up. Check out the merch and all that jazz. We've got fucking Dave Squatch there, the new beast of a design. Really wanted to get that the Davy Crush Christmas elf, but
the Grinch.
I think there's a lawsuit there somewhere. Oh my god, the Grinch! I could do so much with that. And Greer.
Could have, couldn't you?
Oh my god,
face for it.
Nick, why you come out with that earlier?
I would buy a Grinch Greer T-shirt without a doubt. Yeah, that'd be pretty cool.
Yeah, I don't think you can do that. Otherwise, I would have like literally Homer Greer would be a thing. You would be buying T-shirts with that.
That's true too. Homer Greer is pretty great too. Yeah.
Look, I'm on his ass. Look at that.
Oh my god.
I can. Do you remember when Goofon interviewed Stephen Greer?
I must have missed that.
No, he interviewed him live. He went like
that'd have been a long time ago. No,
Rich Giordano, Goofon.
Yeah,
he interviewed him at an event. That he was doing a third phase of Moon interview, and he went out. It was prearranged. He went out and he interviewed him with Dot Stringer.
Yeah, I think that's Skinner. Right, Skinner, yeah.
And he messaged me the next day and said, "Yeah, I said, how did the Greer interview go?" And he went, "Hey, it went great." He said, "Who's that guy that keeps putting my head on Homer Simpson's body?"
So he's seen it. Greer's seen it.
No, I think Rich was joking, but I was like, really? And he went, no,
it could be possible. You never know. Listen, Greer. Before we go, Greer and people like that, they've got to look around on YouTube too. I mean, come on, like they're looking around to see what's going on. They know who we are. Yeah,
he's seen thumbnails. He's seen them.
Oh my god, man,
we love him here. Absolutely love him. And so do festivals.
Oh my god, man.
Oh dear me. Stephen. What a ledge. What a ledge. This should have been the thumbnail, people. Some Christmas Greer. But you know what? It's fine because we didn't use that. We used this. But you know what? What we will do is we'll do New Greer's Eve.
You can't say you don't have fun coming to this channel, guys. Come on. You can't say you don't have fun.
Yeah. Anyway, good night. God bless.
Yeah.
Mind the bugs don't bite. Make sure you check out the links. And also, I know Hidden One on here, but go check out his channel. Give him some love. Give the guy some money. His roof's just blown off.
Tucker, you made some very interesting comments recently that has been going viral all over social media when you were specifically talking about UFOs, and you were specifically talking about something that is hard to kind of really understand here. I was wondering, what's your kind of take on all of this? Because I see this as a spiritual war. Do you see this as a spiritual war? What are your kind of core belief systems when it comes to addressing the larger evils of the system?
Well, as I so often do, I spoke incompletely. I didn't fully explain myself. In the clip that you're referring to, which like 8 people have sent me, in outrage, that I basically said there are things that I know that I won't say.
One of the reasons that we've had all these disclosures and all these, 10 whistleblowers at this point, and it hasn't really become front page news. Part of it's suppression. Parts of the government don't want you to know about it, but part of it is the public can't deal with it. It's too far out. The implications are too profound. And I understand that, because I've heard things where I'm just like, oh man, I don't even really want to know that, honestly.
Deeply disturbing stuff. Forget like saucers and technology. It's deeply disturbing stuff that I haven't even told Natalie. I agree with you. It's so disturbing. I can't even tell my kids. My kids ask me different stories about it, and I won't say it because it's so dark.
Which of course is not exactly right. I don't know. I can't prove it, and I really do try to say things that I really believe are true, and are provably so. And so that's kind of my hesitance. If I had facts, I would say it. It's my personal belief, based on a fair amount of evidence, that they're not aliens. They've always been here.
There you go, people. Ain't gonna come for Christmas, but it's there. Boom.